which is right now. Hello, everybody out there, and welcome to a special edition of Dylan Knows. Very, very special edition. This is probably my biggest coup I've ever had, and I'm very glad to have my guest on today. But real quick, this is Snark Week. It's also Sharknado Week on Sci-Fi. I'm a member of the Snark Galaxy. We like to watch these sci-fi films and make comments. We met a lot of cool people through them, one of which is Gerald Webb, who's a great actor who's worked in a bunch of these shows before. And I finally got a chance to talk to one of the directors. Mr. Christopher Olen Ray here is joining me tonight. He just did his movie Three-Headed Shark Attack, just appeared on Sci-Fi just now on East Coast, and I think it's going to pop up on West Coast again in about an hour or two. So you guys are excited for that. And he also had Megashark versus Kolossus on Saturday. So let me introduce you to Mr. Chris. Hey, Chris, how's it going?
Good, man. How about yourself?
Not bad, not bad. How's life treating you?
It's pretty good. Staying busy.
Always good to be busy, isn't it?
It is. It's good to be busy and good to have a bunch of movies on TV.
Well, let's just jump right into it then real quick. And also real quick, if you guys are watching, if you have any questions, you can tweet at my Twitter accounts at Holodill or Dylan Proco. I don't know. Do you have your Twitter up, Chris, or not?
I have that on my phone, so I'm actually
okay.
So
if
my phone.
If you want to do him to send a question to him, he's at Tiki Terrors as well, and we also have the Q&A function up on Google right now. So let's just get into it right now. So this was Sharknado Week. Sci-Fi has aired a number of your films before, which is great, and this week you've got two, and yeah, you have pieces in all. Oh, that's right. They're showing the rerun. That's right. They're doing the others. I mean, the two premieres, I should say, and then they showed a whole bunch of other ones.
Yeah.
How's that feel?
Pretty cool, man. Like, so we had Megashark 2 was on the other night, Megashark versus Crocosaurus. Then we did Megashark 4, which was Megashark versus Colossus. Having Two-Headed Shark Attack on today. Then the world premiere of Three-Headed, and then there's also Shark Week, Shark Island, Shark Assault, whatever you want to call it nowadays. What a nightmare movie that was.
Do you want to elaborate a little bit, just a touch?
For what I can say is that the people who were with me will know when I say that, you couldn't pay me enough to go back to the Bahamas.
Oh well, say no more. That brings you another question real quick. So on Three-Headed Shark Attack, and this is unfortunately, I'm not a professional interviewer, so my questions are going to go all over the freaking place. So I do have a line of thinking. So Three-Headed Shark Attack, where'd you film Three-Headed Shark Attack? Because it was a gorgeous scenery, actually.
You know, if anyone's watching, it was the city of Pensacola, Florida.
Oh.
It was all shot in Pensacola.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, it was really, it's very interesting. I mean, when we first get introduced to the characters via the Persephone, that was a very elaborate set. I mean, now when the question that passed my mind is now, was the exterior of the Persephone that was under the water? You saw the exterior of it. Was that a CGI or was that a model?
That was CGI. The actual location itself was the old Pensacola News Journal building, and they were going to tear it down. And they basically let us go in and use it for 4 or 5 days. As soon as we left, within 2 weeks, they were tearing it down.
Oh wow, that's crazy. But it just looked. I mean, some CGI looks really, for lack of a better word, fakey. But in some cases, there's a lot in this one particularly. I was almost like, whoa, how did he do that? It was you have that, and then I'm assuming also maybe some of the creatures in the specimen lab also were done CGI, because I mean, I know the iguana probably was real, but I mean a lot of the mutation ones, I mean, they looked almost realistic to me, and that's I guess a credit to your CGI department.
Yeah, Joe Lawson and the Asylum guys. It's some of their best work I've seen. I mean, they did a really good job. I think they did some little added things to surprise me. I had asked for, if we had time, to the little guy swimming around in the water when they first walk into the lab was kind of a surprise. But no, I mean, they really did a good job with that. And the shark really does look like one of the better sharks I've seen.
Especially, near the end there when I don't know how much I want to spoil of it, but what actually happens at the end when, well, I really don't want to spoil too much, but the multiple headed shark, as it were, and that's sort of in a thing that was fairly impressive as well looking. So I got to give props to that. Now, that also leads me to another question here. CGI. Now, I know you use it a lot. I mean, what would you say? I guess maybe depending upon the movie you're filming, I guess, and what you're trying to film, how much is it really a CGI compared to other, like maybe live objects or whatever? What is the sort of the ratio you do on that?
It really is going to depend on the movie. We tried, like on Two-Headed, we did the puppets. And, we actually tried to we brought 3 puppets out with us. Effects guy by the name of Eric Fox took care of it, and we got it out there. Great looking puppets and everything, but by the time with all the logistics and all the boats and all the water, the puppets just weren't practical. So we ended up doing almost all of it CGI, and there was just nothing we could do. Time-wise, CGI took precedence.
Now, with the explosions and stuff like that, I know you can do CGI explosions, but do you actually use some demolition as well, actual, as it were, explosions, or do you feel that CGI is perhaps safer, and you can do maybe more with it?
On a show like this one, it was all CGI. I mean, we did on Mercenaries, for example, we did a lot of practical explosions and what they call propane poppers and things like that. But this one, we just no time, no money.
I suppose that's a situation that arises. I mean, I've never directed film except for a small college film I did in my sophomore year, junior year of college, actually, where we had actually killer squirrel, and instead we used a little stuffed puppet like you guys did early with Two-Headed Shark Attack, attacking our friends. It was a hoot. So let's see, what else are the questions now. Once again, I'm telling you, I'm jumping all over the place. Now, how is it? Actually, let me back up a little bit. You've been directing for a while now. How long? When did you start directing, actually?
The first thing I did, I think, was back in 2005, 2006. It was a short film, and then the first movie I ever directed was a thing called Reptosaurus, and that one it has kind of a limited release. Then I did a thing called Megaconda, which I don't even know if it's been released yet or not. But then from that point, we got into Megashark versus Crocosaurus, and the rest is kind of history from that point.
So what? I'm going to dip into your past. What made you want to become a filmmaker? Was it just something you've always wanted to do, or did you stumble upon it accidentally, like you were looking to do something else and something else popped up?
I mean, the history of my family. I mean, I grew up, my father was single parent, raising me. He's been directing films now for over 30 years. And at a younger age, I wanted nothing to do with this. So I left and went and joined the military for 7 years and did that, got out, worked for the government for another 6 years, and kind of fell back into it.
Guess one of those things that, the grass is always greener, but then turns out maybe not so much. And said, you know what? I've always been interested. It's in my blood, so that's really interesting. So I've always had an interest in wanting to direct something, but life for me, it took a different turn. And I guess there's really there's never any time frame on when you can direct if you ever just want to go out and do it sometimes, I suppose. So what I'm leading up to is so how is it working with you've got the younger actors, kind of some mostly unknown actors, and then you get someone like a Danny Trejo who's been around for a while. How is it easy to juggle your directing, or is there a specific different way you deal with, say, the younger, more rookie-ish type of actors, whereas someone like Danny Trejo has been around and done it? Is there different ways that you handle them or direct them?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna handle your people who've been doing this for 20, 30 years, i.e. Danny, who's, in the hundreds of movies. You're not going to say the same things to him that you would say to somebody who's on their fifth or sixth. But again, too, it's the same. It's the same level of respect, no matter where the person is starting. Just to make sure everyone shows up and does their job, and my job is to help them get from A to B. So with the Danny, it really was just kind of talk to him and tell him what we were looking to do. And we didn't change anything on his character because Danny Trejo is Danny Trejo. But if you want something different, you don't try to go get some other actor expecting it to be Danny Trejo. You just go get Danny. It's just to kind of go with what you're saying. We had a couple kids who it was the first time around or a second, third film around, and it was more kind of coaching or helping them feed off the other actor the best they could.
So I guess there's different levels of ability, and you just have to learn how to juggle each one and do your best to get the performance out of them. And that's very interesting, actually. Let me see. So with Three-Headed Shark Attack, now you, just a fresh member, you just directed it. Some other people wrote it, correct? You didn't write this one?
No, the Asylum hired me to. We basically produced it and I directed it. Same kind of thing we did with Two-Headed, and the same thing with Megashark.
Now I know with the ones that just were premiered this week, the Megasharks and the Three-Headed Shark Attack, you had done previous films in the series, but how did the Asylum? Did you tell the Asylum these are your interests, or did they say, hey, Chris, would you be interested in directing, this film about a two-headed shark? And you thought about it a little bit and said, yeah, that sounds like a really cool idea. Is that how it kind of works? I mean, how do you determine what you want to direct?
Going backwards, Megashark was the first one. I just kind of went in and said, hey, I'd like to direct something. And Megashark versus Crocosaurus was, the first one I got to do. Then I produced a few films for them. And then I saw a Two-Headed Shark Attack come up. We did Monster Man back in was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and when we went in, I was scheduled as the producer. One of the things I asked for was that when we were done with it, could I direct it? And it pretty much worked out that way. It's the same kind of thing, I kind of pitched myself for Mercenaries. Mega Shark 4 was kind of a last minute thing. Something happened where like 3 or 4 days before production began, they came in and asked me, hey, you directed another one of these Mega Sharks. You want to do this one?
Wow, that must have been something.
Well, you're talking about normally with them, you're talking 3 or 4 weeks of prep. With this, you're talking 3 or 4 days of prep. So it really was like, okay, what locations have we booked? Okay, what am I trying to create? And, props that I would see having, and you're trying to basically pull things out. And like I went out and found these watches, and I called a buddy up for the gloves, and we had to go out and get those 3D glasses. I went and grabbed them for my television because ideally you would have got Google Glass, but we just didn't have time to do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that reminds. It didn't show to me that it seemed like to be a rush in production. Mega Shark vs. Kolossus was actually a really excellent film, and I particularly liked the how Kolossus came about, how his visual was. It was unlike really. I mean, you might have seen some stuff before similar to that, but it was unlike. It wasn't really what I was expecting, and I think that it made the film a lot more enjoyable because it was a creature that from the terms you've never seen before. I mean, you've seen Mega Shark, you've seen a couple of his movies before, but here's Kolossus is something that he's never really encountered before, and the CGI, I'm assuming CGI on that one was absolutely brilliant on that, and I have to applaud you on. I guess it didn't show that you were in this little pickle of a 3 to 4 day window trying to prep it.
Yeah, I mean the prep was short, but again, you still go in and you're still dealing with guys who do this for a living, so it wasn't the end of the world. So that part of it was good. And then seeing the CGI come together really did make a difference.
So now, when you were doing when Megashark came on Saturday, and also with Three-Headed Shark Attack today, you were very upfront and forward on the Twitter, social media, live tweeting, interacting with the fans, and we have to tell you right off the bat that we love that. We absolutely love that. Our little group, the Snark Gals, is about 150 plus strong now. We absolutely love the fact that when we watch these movies, that the actors, directors, producers, writers, whatever, they come on and they interact with you, and it makes the experience that much better. Now, that leads me to a question I had that I came up with while I was watching Three-Headed Shark Attack. Is like, while going through all the social media, now, how do you react to maybe if someone is, I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this, if they're trashing what you're doing, trashing your art, how does it actually make you feel? Does it do you just sort of brush it aside, or do you say, you're an asshole, but maybe keep it to yourself? Because I've never seen you say anything mean about anybody, and I think that's perfect. So how do you feel when you see these live tweets? And you can tell me on both sides, the bad and the good. How does it make you feel personally?
It's funny because you got to watch it to be able to give me those opinions. And the fact that you're watching it, I don't care if you like it or not. At that point, you're still watching the movie. Let's be honest here. It really doesn't affect me. I have a good time making these, and I'm not trying to go out and win any awards. I'm just trying to make sure that people have a good time watching them. We get hired to make them, but we don't want to have everyone walk around and have everybody walk around saying it's the worst thing they've ever seen. If they walk around going, okay, that was pretty bad, but if there's always a but afterwards, I think I've done pretty well for what these films are.
Yeah, and that's a great attitude to have, because there are some people out there who are really emotional about the things that they do, and it shows in that. Where you just seem like you're very proud of your work, and at this point you're like, hey, and I love what you said. Hey, you're watching it. You know what? I don't give a damn what you think about it. You're still watching it. You're seeing something that I created. And how is that? How is that feeling when you, like, the first time you saw your work up on a screen or something like that? How did that, or a TV screen? How is that? Is it true, like what they say? Is it sort of like, there are some people I say is like they get really excited and really happy, but then there are others who are like, man, I should have done this better. I should have done this better. I should have did a different angle here. I didn't like this edit I did. Do you find yourself maybe nitpicking your own work after you watch it again on like a TV or movie screen?
No, by that point, I probably watched the film. I've probably seen these films between 40 to 60 times as is. And I'm seeing things, even when people point other things out, I'm seeing 1,000 other things that you're not. And by this point, though, by the time it makes it to what you're watching, I'm done. There's nothing I can do about it. So why sit here and nitpick it? The old adage goes, it never gets old. I stumbled across, it was Mercenaries on Showtime the other night. I stumbled across it by accident. Still doesn't get old, man. Seeing something you had fun making on screen, and then seeing people talking about it still. It was good stuff.
Good. And I figured that'd be, because you seem like a very, very cool, down-to-earth type of guy. And once again, you have those crazy perfectionist types out there. And yeah, and it's a great attitude to have. And it's probably a similar attitude that I think I would have, or other people might have, that I know very similar. So that's very cool. That was a question I was going to ask you. On the editing aspect. Now, Three-Headed Shark Attack, you mentioned you had released it previous on DVD, direct to video or whatever, and this is Sci-Fi's premiere of it. Now, are you involved with the editing of the, say, making an R cut to your PG-13 cut, like you're making your movie cut to your television cut? Are you involved in that?
No, I make the initial edit that has everything in it, from the whatever cussing and nudity and all that, and then I'm done. I walk away. But the television, whoever else gets it, they go through and they kind of trim it up based on what they need it to be. You know, I would say Three-Headed, they had one cut where it's like right in the middle of all the stuff going on. You're like, what was that going on there, man? Why would you cut it there? But, you know, I got nothing to say about it. So
it's along similar lines that, you know, there's not much you can do after it's done. You do what you've done, and then it's in the hands of others. Now, Three-Headed Shark Attack, when did that originally come out on directed movie? Did it have any theatrical appearance, or did it just go in a festival, or did it just go direct to video?
You know, I'm not sure exactly what it did. I know it's not on DVD yet. It comes out on DVD, I think, in 2 weeks. Okay. It was Megashark that had the initial release on DVD before coming on. Not exactly sure on everything on what Three-Headed did beforehand.
Now, I know, and we can get into this. This is going to just skew away just slightly from Three-Headed Shark Attack. And damn it, I just lost it. The movie you just made, a home. What's the name?
Not a Home?
Yeah. That one, unfortunately, Gerald invited a bunch of us on the East Coast to the premiere of that. And unfortunately, my wife and I, we would have loved to go, but I think we had another engagement we couldn't get out. We were out of the state, I think. Have you, what's going on with that? Because I haven't seen anything about that. Has that been released on DVD yet, or?
No. The House is Not a Home is a funny thing. We did something that was a little unusual, and it seems to be the thing that's kind of coming back to bite us. We did a straight horror film with all African American, and we no comedy, no. We didn't play it off. We played it as a regular straight drama horror, and for some reason, our distributors are having a hard time with it. Not just we don't know the real exact reasons, but we get an offer on it. Then they sit down, and they watch it, and then they pull the offer. So we know that they like the story and they like the horror, but we're not exactly sure. You know, is it, you know, does it not like the film, or
is there something else underlying, right?
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, you know, they may have a problem with it foreign, but come on, man, domestically, it's you know, for what it is, you know, we're showing. We have Aurora June, who's on, you know, Gem and the Holograms now, and she's got a great bunch of stuff coming up. Bill Cobbs and Richard Grieco and Gerald Webb is one of the stars, and Donna Nicole Baxter. It's a good little cast. And we're still sitting on it.
That's a shame because you know, Gerald was talking it up a lot, and I know a couple of the Snark Alex, Tony Solo, and a few others, they went and saw it, and they absolutely loved it also. And not just because it was their friend Gerald and because they were interviewed, they're what your key demographic is. That they're the horror fans. You know, it doesn't matter the skin color or whatever. If it's a good horror story, you know, put it for the horror fans, you know? I mean, they'll see anything. I mean, there's some of these movies out that are released in cinema that look like complete and utter garbage, but they still make a good amount of money because you have that horror group behind it. Now, that must be extremely frustrating, and I hope something works out for it, that you can get that out there.
Well, the whole reason why we did it is as long as this message keeps getting out, and, you know, you happen to ask the question without me having to bring it up, but as long as it continues to get out, we're okay with it. You know, the fact that, you know, we're thinking about putting it out ourselves.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Get it out to have people see it. But again, as long as people like you ask us that question and we get to say, here's the movie, and this is what we think, because nobody will give us a straight answer. And usually when the people avoid the question, you know, I've had people tell me the movie wasn't very good. I've had people tell me for other films. This one, everyone just kind of goes, eh. So, you know, there's something else there that's bugging them. So,
yeah, I mean, I guess that's really frustrating, and maybe you need to get it out there a little bit more, so maybe you can get a better group of people to look at it, and maybe then you can maybe get some more straight answers out. Okay, so what is it about this thing, you know, you don't like, you know, and then maybe you can go back in and you can fix it. I mean, that's cinema, right?
No, that's the point. But again, we don't, myself and Gerald don't mind answering this question, because we've been answering it now for about 2 years. So
Now, despite that fact about it, you must be ecstatic. You're living your dream, right? This is what you wanted to do now. You're having a great time. You're having fun meeting cool people. Is that true?
Oh, dude. I mean, if it's a question, it sounds like you're just talking there. I say it every day, no matter how bad the day is, I don't want to do anything else. I don't think I can sit back at a desk. I don't think I could, go back to working for the government. The day-to-day life, I do stuff now where I'm in office for 3 or 4 weeks, and then I'm on set for 3 to 4 weeks. And I produce and I direct and I do AD work. But I know how to keep myself separated. Again, wouldn't rather be doing anything else but this.
Now, you say you do a bunch of different things. What is your favorite job, as it were? Would you prefer to, I know you probably like do everything, but is there one job you prefer to do much more, like direct or produce, or as you said, AD work, or acting? Because I know you've done some acting, right?
Acting was a long time ago, man. that's years ago. No, directing is the primary. AD work right now, I really only do a lot of AD work, mostly with my father. And that's just because I like to work with my dad. And, otherwise I produce. How I fell into producing, I have no idea. But the directing part of it is really what I enjoy doing.
Okay, fantastic. Now, did you co-write House is Not a Home, or have you written? I mean, I know I sound like I really hadn't a chance to do a lot of research, but have you actually done some writing on your own as well? Maybe done a writing aspect as well?
No, I'm actually texting right here with one of my writers, Victoria Dottie, and I will be the first one to tell you, man, I'm not a writer. I will never write in my entire life. I absolutely suck. But like House is Not a Home was my story. I came up with the idea and the concept, and then the Conduit brothers wrote it for us, and then Victoria Dottie came in and kind of helped move some things around. It's the same kind of thing with I just did a film called Minutes to Midnight where a guy by the name of Christopher Don wrote it, and then I came in and kind of put my own little twist on it for Minutes to Midnight. And but otherwise, no, I don't write, and I will stay as far away from it as possible.
When you got good writers around you, why should you?
But that's what people get paid for. There are professional writers out there. Let them do their job.
Let them make their money. Exactly. Sounds great. Let's see. I think you've answered pretty much all the questions I think of. Once again, I apologize for not being more organized. Hopefully one of these days I'll be able to actually sit down and have a professional interview with somebody. But let me ask you, what's anything on your plate that you can tell us about now, or is it all hush hush secret?
Well, no, I mean, Minutes to Midnight is a film that myself, Gerald Webb, Paul Seiner, Colleen Seiner, Victoria Dottie, people by the name of Gene and Maureen Valentino. We produced the film called Minutes to Midnight, starring William Baldwin, Richard Grieco, Christopher Judge, Dominic Swain, Viva Bianca.
Wow, nice cast.
And John Hennigan, Bill Mosley, and we're in the editing process right now. But that's a good one coming up. I did my first comedy called They Want Dick Dixter, which we just finished up. We'll be doing a red carpet event on August 22nd, and then getting that out there. It's a mockumentary about a B-movie director who falls on the hard times, and to try to make a comeback, he's offered $100,000 to remake his one-hit wonder into a porn.
That sounds awesome.
Starring Bobby Ray Schaefer, who's my cousin. You might have seen the poster online. It was my on Facebook. It was my image. It's the wanted poster with the guy sitting there pointing at you. So,
anything new and upcoming from the asylum yet, or just looking through stuff?
Oh, I will happily announce, if people are watching, if anyone actually gives a shit, Mercenaries 2 was greenlit.
Oh, good, so fantastic.
We will be doing that here in the next 6 to 8 months. So that's a good one, because that's for me, that's probably one of my favorites, and I feel like it's one of my better films. So
it's fantastic. So, I mean, with the editing aspect, is it hard? I know you've discussed this before, but when it's in your control to edit, is it kind of hard to bring your story out through editing, knowing that you might have to excise some scenes you don't want to, or you have to keep certain scenes in for various reasons that you might not want to? Is it a tough process in that end?
No, I mean, it used to be years ago, but now I haven't actually been short on a movie in years. I came in short, I think 3.5 years ago for Shark Week, and I don't think ever again will I come in short, just because I try to overshoot now.
Well, that's good. That's good. Unfortunately, I guess a lot of people are not out and about. I do have a few viewers though, so that's pretty cool. We got some viewers live. Is there anything else you want to talk about there, Chris?
Like I said, man, it was just, the idea was, people, if anyone had any questions, I'm down to answer those. Having three-headed on and just being able to tweet with the fans was pretty cool tonight. So again,
are you going to be doing the West Coast feed now too, or
no?
You hung it up?
I have an 11-year-old daughter. Hang on. I have an 11-year-old daughter who wants to go see Imagine Dragons. So when we're done here, we're going to go hop in a car and go see a concert tonight.
Oh, fantastic. So you know what? I'm not going to keep you. Chris, I want to thank you for coming on. It was a real pleasure talking to you. And I will definitely get you on my show proper. Other time, this is a special Snark Week edition. I will get you on my show sometime proper, and I'll be more prepared then.
Hey, man, I don't mind sitting around chit-chatting. It's all good, dude.
All right. Thanks again. This is, once again, this is Christopher Olen Ray. He's the director of Three-Headed Shark Attack, which was just on Sci-Fi. He was also the director of Megashark versus Kolossus, which was on Saturday. He's got a ton of other stuff out there that's coming up, and a bunch of other stuff you can check out. He's got, as he said earlier, 5 films showing up on Sharknado Week this week. I think most of them have already passed, but there's still a couple down the line. And always, check it out. Just check out some of his work. It is actually a lot of fun, and a bit better than some of the movies we have seen. I'm very impressed by a lot of your stuff. So thanks again for coming on, Chris.
Well, I appreciate it, man. And as I said, everybody who has watched now and who can watch later on, feel free to ask questions. Hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, whatever you guys want. I got no problems chit-chat and answer any questions you guys have.
Fantastic. Thanks again, Chris, for your taking time out from your busy schedule. I will be back on my regular show on Sunday, 12:30 p.m. with my co-host Bronwyn. So should be a lot of fun. So for Christopher Olen Ray, I want to thank you again, sir. And you'll have a good night. Tomorrow is a day off from Snark Week. And then Wednesday is the big one, the premiere of Sharknado 3. That's going to be at 9 o'clock on Sci-Fi. Do you like watching the Sharknado films there, Chris?
I do. I enjoy it. I think Anthony Fuente's done some good stuff there, and he's done the Sharknado series justice. So I don't think it would have been the same film without Anthony involved.
It's one of those that it just skyrocketed, which is fantastic. And they're on the third one coming up. So that's coming on 9 o'clock. After that show, there will be a after show of Fireside Chats with Official Pagan. Mike will be doing his Fireside Chats with, I think, some of his fans from Facebook who are dying to talk about Sharknado. And then our last sci-fi premiere, as it were, will be on Saturday. Lavalantula from 9 to 11. Mike Mendez directing that. And after that show, it'll be Jeans and Kelly Toole together doing Bring Out Your Geeks. So we still got a lot of Snark Week goodness, including the main event, which is on Wednesday. So what I'll probably do is I might actually, now I think about it, I will probably be doing a after show, I should say, of Zombie Shark, which is on right now, tomorrow. So come on back then and we'll talk then. Chris, once again, thank you. You have a great time at your concert with your daughter, and keep churning out those awesome films, man.
Well, I appreciate it. One last thing for anybody listening. Myself and Richard Grieco, if all things go well, stay tuned and pay attention to what we got going on.
Ooh, you do that. You understand? Everyone out there, you do that. Christopher Olen Ray is a great guy. Richard Grieco is a great guy. And I'm not so great. I'll see you guys later. Thanks a lot. And take care. Bye.